Shall we start, Uma-san?
Yeah, we can start.
Rama ma'am?
Yes, Walter.
Thank you, ma'am. A very pleasant morning to all the attendees, esteemed faculty members and research scholars who have joined us today. We have come to the 5th day of the Faculty Development Program on Futuristic Trends of Language and Literature, Impact on 21st Century Learners, organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, Chennai. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all once again. Today we are broadcasting a live webinar on Nihongode Hanashimasho. Let's speak Japanese. And we have with us today Ms. Uma Balu, Japanese language expert, entrepreneur and founder of Sahara Asia, Director Secretary of Bodhi Dharma Dojo Foundation, Chennai. A very experienced, enthusiastic and dynamic person who I am happy to say is in so many ways my Japanese sensei also. This session is something she as a Japanese teacher, trainer and expert and I as a learner jointly came up with. And of course, she has done all the background work with just a few ideas for me as a very enthusiastic learner of Japanese, if I may say so myself. She is going to deliver an interesting and thought-provoking lecture presentation on this topic. And I'm sure many attendees today are looking forward to it as they were expressed to us earlier. Before we move on to the welcome address, as usual, I would like to gently remind all the attendees who have joined us today to stay with us till the end of the session to access the quiz and feedback. And please don't forget to post your queries, if any, in the live chat stream on YouTube, only during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. As usual, like the previous days, there will also be a mid-session attendance form today. The link will be posted during the session at any time, and we will remind you of the same. So please fill that form also, and you can come back to the lecture immediately after. I would like to now call upon Dr. Rama, Professor and Head Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Walter. Happy morning to all the attendees. We move to the penultimate day of our week-long FDP on futuristic trends of language and literature impact on 21st century learners. Hope every day was an enriching one. Many of you must be awaiting today's talk on Let's Speak Japanese by Mrs. Uma Balu, entrepreneur, Sahara Asia, a very motivating and exuberant person. Welcome, ma'am. At this juncture, I welcome you all on behalf of the Department of EFL, SRM Ramapuram, and thank you all for your very enthusiastic participation on all the days. Now I hand the session over to Walter to take it further.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to say a few words about Ms. Uma Balu, our guest speaker for the day. Ms. Uma Balu is a very experienced Japanese language expert and has a huge profile. I hope I do it some justice today. She is the entrepreneur and founder of Sahara Asia Professional Language and Culture Services, Secretary Director of the Bodhi Dharma Dojo Foundation, and she has also been the Vice President of the BRICS Generation. She is a writer, artist, language trainer, translator, and interpreter. She is a member of many associations, Indian Translators Association, INTAC, and Bravi Group for Women Entrepreneurs, to name a few. Her professional experience spans over 15 years in Japanese language training. Firstly, for Daimler India, L&T Infotech, NSK Sales India. She has also been working for the Business English program, and she has coordinated and trained for NSK Sales India. She has been the managing partner of Cafe Lingua and program director of Language Labs, to name a few. Among her roles and responsibilities, she has been designing language programs for corporate groups, leading professional teams of trainers, translators, and interpreters. And she has also done a lot of client training, coordination, and support, and business development. Her skills are many, and she has contributed to language programs, that is content design and development. She has also done subtitling, translation of world classics, writing articles for magazines and newspapers, project work on unusual, unique themes. She has done painting, creative art using waste materials. She has done a lot of poetry writing also. Among her special achievements, she has been translating the Chinese classic Dream of Red Mansions into Tamil as a series in association with Chennai Center for China Studies. She has received the Best Translator Award from the Tamil Nadu government, and she has participated in several conferences in Nepal, Thailand, New Delhi, Sri Lanka, and she has also published a lot of papers on several topics related to Japanese. She has also learned Russian. She has done a beginner's level in Korean, and she is proficient in several languages, foreign languages. With these few words, I welcome Miss Uma Balu once again, and I invite her to take over the forum. Over to you, Uma-san.
Thank you so much, Walter-san. Thank you, Rema ma'am, for a very nice opportunity to interact with so many people. And I'm sure at the end of this program, people would have definitely learned a little bit of Japanese, which helps their survival. And this program, as it is, focuses on several aspects of everyday life, where we have tried to give a little bit of information on that, which will help communicate with the local people in Japanese. So, Walter sir, shall we start?
Yes.
The very first slide, introduction and greetings. The next one. Could we go to the next slide, Walter sir? Next one. Yeah. So, the very first time we meet a Japanese, what we do is get introduce ourselves, and we also the same expressions are used by the Japanese as well, and it's a standard set of 3 expressions which are very simple but carry a lot of meaning. The first expression is hajime mashite. Hajime mashite. And I also would like to tell you that whatever is being written is completely read. It's a complete phonetic language because we don't have any silent letters. We don't have any difficult sounds, nothing. It's a very simple pronunciation. Whatever is written is just read. So, ha, ji, me, ma, shi, te. Hajime mashite means meeting you for the first time. This is the start of the introduction, very first expression. Second one is you tell them your name. For example, if I'm getting introduced, I will say Uma des. You will notice that we have written desu, but we don't say desu, we just say des. But it is not possible to write des. That is why we go to the closest sound available in the alphabet, which is su. There is no there is no S ending, there is no corresponding letter for that sound. So we write desu, but we say des. So Uma des will mean I am Uma. The word I is not even here. It's just Uma am. That's it. But it means I am Uma. So this is how you introduce yourself in a casual situation. You put your name and follow it by this. In a formal situation, there is a slight difference. Instead of this, we use tomoshimasu. Tomoshimasu. So, in my case, it will be Uma tomoshimasu. Uma tomoshimasu is a kind of a roundabout way of saying they call me Uma or I am called Uma. It's something like that. It's not a straightforward way like I am Uma. They call me Uma or I am called Uma. It's a roundabout way, but that makes it formal. So, Uma tomoshimasu is also My name is Uma in a formal way. The third, last but not the least expression is yoroshiku. 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 O ne ga I. Onegai. Shi ma su. Shimas. Again, what I told you, the su is only written. When we say, we don't say onegai shimasu. We just say onegai shimas. So, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Here, yoroshiku means well. Negai means request. Shimas means to do or to make. So, I make a request is onegai shimasu. Yoroshiku is well. But what they actually mean by these two expressions is, I request you to treat me well so that our relationship continues for a long time. This much is packed into this small expression. So, the introduction is only the start of the relationship. And once the introduction goes well, the people, whoever is getting introduced, they are getting introduced, it is mandatory that they treat each other very well so that the relationship is carried forward. Okay? So, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. This is, please treat me well so that our relationship continues for a long time. Okay. Now that the introduction part is done, the next time we meet the person, we can start off with our usual greetings. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu is equivalent to good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu has two words. Good morning also has two words. But Ohayo does not mean good and gozaimasu is not the word for morning. This is a very interesting question which came from a student. So I also thought I should share this with you. Ohayo gozaimasu as a whole expression means good morning. But the word for morning is different. That we'll learn later. Ohayo gozaimasu, just learn the expression and use it instead of good morning. Same thing applies to konnichiwa. Konnichiwa starts from, like, it covers a good part of the day because ohayo gozaimasu you can use till about 10:30 in the morning. So you actually feel it's a morning time. After that, you switch over to konnichiwa. Konnichiwa can start from around 10:30 and go as long as evening 5:30 or 6, as long as it is bright. So the maximum part, major part of the day is covered by konnichiwa. Next one is konbanwa. Konbanwa is the equivalent of good evening and this starts after 5:30 or 6. Whenever you feel like, okay, now it is evening time, let me start konbanwa. So that goes on. And even if you meet someone at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you still say konbanwa. Next one is the expression for bye-bye. That is sayonara. I think you would have heard this, but I have heard a very interesting pronunciation. Sayonara, sayonara, all these things, they are not correct. It's sayonara. Sayo part is long, nara is normal. So sayonara. Next is oyasumi nasai. Again, as I told you, oyasumi nasai is a very short expression. Yasumi means rest. Nasai is please. Please have a good night's rest so that you can wake up fresh the next morning for the whole day of work. So all this is packed into oyasumi nasai. So oyasumi nasai is just the equivalent of good night. When a person retires for the day, you will wish or you will greet him with oyasumi nasai. Next slide, please, Balthasar. Now let's learn a few pronouns which are very useful in everyday conversation. Watashi stands for I. Watashi. And the plural, to say something about the plurals in Japanese, we don't have actually a plural form for words, which is very common in other languages. But there are certain situations where we definitely need a plural form because watashi can only stand for I. The same word cannot stand for we. So we need a plural form. So these kind of expressions will be there, but in general, book and books will be the same word. Person and people will be the same word. So, in general, plurals are not there, but specific situations will have a plural form. So, watashi is I. Watashi plus the suffix tachi will give you the plural, that is watashi tachi. That is we. Next is anata. Anata, there is a word anata for you, but normally when we talk to each other, we address each other by our names. We don't literally use the word you unless it is really talking to a very close person. We don't generally use the word anata. Okay? So, kare is he. This is just generally used, kare, and kanojo, she. Minna means everybody. But when you are addressing a group of people, ladies and gentlemen, or something relating to everyone, all of you please assemble in front of the gate. These kind of expressions will take the word minasan. In fact, san is a way of address. So minna and san combined become minasan. Minasan means ladies and gentlemen or all of you. It's a common instruction or common announcement to all of you. So, minasan, you can very commonly heard expression minasan. Coming to the last part, whenever you address a person, you address them by their name plus the suffix san. For example, if I'm calling Walter san, it's a Walter san. Walter is his surname and then san is added. So, Walter san. Rama-san. Like that, it is a way of address. And the Japanese name also has the person's given name and also the family name. For example, if there is a person called, and let's take an Indian name, Ramesh Gupta. So Ramesh is his name and Gupta is the family name. If you want to address the person with a lot of respect, you will say Gupta-san. You attach san to the family name. Whereas, if you are close enough with the person, then you can say Ramesh-san. Okay, so it depends on the extent of familiarity with the person. So, if it's a close friend, you can say Ramesh-san. If it's a formal way, then you can say Gupta-san. Next slide, please. Yeah. Coming to nationality, the word for India is Indo. Japan is, earlier it was Nippon, but now they use Nihon. In the more common ways, they use Nihon. China, the word is Chugoku. Korea is Kankoku. Jin is a suffix for nationality. And this is gender neutral. It could represent a man or a woman belonging to the country. So, for example, if you want to say an Indian, a person from India, you will attach Jin to Indo, which makes it Indojin. Indojin means an Indian person, but it could be a man or a woman. So similarly, Nihon is Japan, Jin is the suffix, Nihonjin is a Japanese person who could be a man or a woman. Chugoku is China, Chugokujin will mean a Chinese person, again man or a woman. Similarly, Kankoku is Korea, Kankokujin is a Korean person. Now, just like Jin, we have a suffix for the language of the country. So, if you add go to the country name, you get the language spoken in that country. Let us take Japan, Nihon. Nihon and go together make Nihongo. Even the topic of this presentation is Nihongode Hanashimasho. So Nihongo is Japanese language. Chugokugo, Chinese language. Kankokugo is Korean language. But when you come to India, there is a very delightful difference. Because in India, we don't have one particular language as Indian. Instead of that, we have so many languages. So there is a problem. How do I express? There is a way of that. See, Hindi, for example, let's take the word Hindi. Hindi is a language. Instead of attaching go, To India, we attach go to the language itself. So it becomes Hindi go, means Hindi language. Tamil go means Tamil language. Like that, we attach go to the different Indian languages. Again, the word for England is Igirisu. But the English language is not Igirisu go. It is Ego. Here again, there is an exception. So, Ego is English. It's not Igirisu go. It is Ego. Next slide, please, Walter. Yeah. Coming to professions, we have, let's take the word Sensei. Sensei, I think you would have heard when you go to a martial arts instruction class or something, you would have heard this word. So, Sensei is the word for teacher, but it's also a way of address. You can address a person as Sensei, and it doesn't have to be a teacher alone. There are other professions, and those professionals could also be addressed as Sensei. For example, the word for a doctor is Isha. But when you address the doctor, you call him Sensei. A martial art trainer can be addressed as Sensei. A member of parliament is addressed as Sensei. A lawyer can also be addressed as Sensei. So these are some professions where the professionals can be addressed as Sensei, not necessarily a teacher. Teacher is also addressed as Sensei, but it also applies equally to the other professions. Next, when we go to a restaurant, we can address the waiter as Waiter-san. Waitress. Waitress is Waitress. It's just a slightly different way of pronouncing it, but the same English words, waiter and waitress. And a school student is Seto. A college student is Kakse. And there are foreign students, students who study abroad. They have a word for that. It's Ryugakse. Ryugakse means, Gakse, you know, is a student. Ryugakse means a student who has traveled to a foreign country to study. Yeah. Next slide, please. Coming to numbers, these are very, very important because once we learn the numbers, we can express so many other things. Ichi is 1. Ni is 2. Sa, we already learned the word sa, which is the way of address. This is the number 3. So depending on the context, when you attach sa to a name, it is a way of addressing the person. But this is the number 3. It stands alone. It's not a suffix. So sa is 3. For 4, we have 2 words, she and yo. She is used when 4 stands alone as the number 4. Yo is used when 4 is combined with other numbers, like for example 14, 24, 40. Here 4 is combined with other numbers. Here you use the combination reading yo, but she when 4 stands as 4 alone. Next is go, 5, roku, 6. Again 7 has 2 words just like 4. Shichi stands for 7 alone, and Nana when 7 is in combination with other numbers. Next is Hachi, 8, Q, 9, and Ju, 10. Now, after 10, we start counting 11, 12, 13. It's very logical in Japanese. It's very easy. You don't have to learn separate words for that. Just keep combining everything, you get the words. For example, 11, how do you define 11? 11 is 10 plus 1. We know the word for 10, that is Ju. We know the word for 1, Ichi. So combine Ju and Ichi, you get Ju, Ichi. That's it. That is 11. 12 will be Ju and Ni. Ju, Ni. 13 is Ju, Sa. 14, because it's a combination, we will not say Ju, Shi. We will say Ju, Yon. Similarly, 17 will be Ju, not Ju, Shichi. It will be Ju, Nana. Okay. So this way we can go on combining these numbers till 99. Now when you reach 99, all the numbers are exhausted. Now you need a new number for 100, that is is 100. Now, once you learn this new word, you can combine all the numbers up to 999. 999. All these words can be combined. Next, again, once you reach 999, you will need one more word for 1000. It's a fresh word, sen. And once you have learned sen, you can combine all the words up to 9999. Again, you need a word for 10,000, that is man. But once you reach man, there are few combinations which are possible. Because now you have lesser numbers to combine with, lesser multiples of 10. For example, man is 10,000. We have 4 zeros. And if you add one more zero, it becomes 1 lakh. Now, what should you do to man to make it 1 lakh? You multiply by 10. So, put the Jew. You know the word for Jew, 10, right? That is Jew. So, Jew man will mean 10 times man, which is 10,000. 10 times 10,000 is 1 lakh. And then, if you want 1 million or 10 lakhs, there are 6 zeros. 4 zeros, it is man. 2 zeros, it is hyaku, that is 100. So, hyaku into man, that is hyaku man. Hyaku times man, that is 100 times 10,000 will give you 1 million. Similarly, 1 crore or 10 million has 7 zeros. 4 zeros we have man, 3 zeros we have sen, 1000. So, 1000 times man will give you 1 crore. And after that, the last number is oku, which is 10 crores. It's a very large number, but a very small word, oku. Okay, so why should I learn such a big number, oku? We can ask, but especially for people doing business, you talk in millions and billions, right? So this oku will be very useful for you. Next slide, please. What is that? Now, coming to measure words and counters. For example, you're buying a kilo of sugar. What will be the measure word we use? Kilo. Similarly, you're buying oil or water, then you say you're talking liters. Similarly, we have certain words called counters, which are used not to measure, but to count things around us. Because we count the number of chairs in a room, we count the number of flowers in a basket. Like that, we may have to count various things in our daily life. So, we need to learn some counters. But due to the limitation of time, I will teach you just one counter, which is very, very useful. And this is called the general counter. General counter has two applications. One is, as a learner of Japanese, we may or may not know the counter words for all the objects around us. But we definitely have to count them for some reason. So what do I do? I don't know the counter word, but how do I have to count? What do I do? Use the general counter. There is a counter word, but you don't know it. So use the general counter. But there are also objects which don't have any counter words. There also you can use the general counter. So it serves both the purposes. So being a very useful counter, I thought we should include it in this program. So when you count, you have already learned the words for 1, 2, 3. But here you can see it is slightly different. You don't count as ichi, ni, san. You use a different set of words. It is hitotsu, or one object. Futatsu, 2 objects. Mitsu, 3 objects. Yotsu, 4. Itsutsu, 5 objects. Mutsu, 6 objects. Nanatsu, 7 objects. Yatsu, 8 objects. Kokonotsu, 9 objects. And To, 10 objects. So when you count, you will say hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu, like that. You will go on up to 10. Now 11 onwards, it makes things very simple. Because 11, you know the numbers, na? Ju, ichi, ju, ni, ju, san. You just start off from 11. It becomes very easy. The general counter, these specific words are only up to 10. 11 higher number, you just express it as a pure number. It is the general counter. Okay, so I think it is pretty easy. Just the numbers 1 to 10 you learn, then it becomes very easy for you. 11 onwards, it's just a pure number. Then we have the word kilo. Kilo can stand for kilogram as well as meter, kilometer. So when you are counting the measuring the distances, then you use kilo in the sense of kilometer. If you are weighing something, then you use kilo in the sense of kilogram. Kilo is a very commonly used measure word. And yen is the currency of Japan. But when they write it, they don't write it using a Y. They don't write yen. They just say N, E-N. That's all. But we have started writing it as Y-E-N, but it's okay. No problem. Even if you say pronounce it as yen, doesn't matter. Then we have the words meter and centimeter. This is also very widely used. Meteru. They pronounce it in a slightly different way. It's meteru. And centimeter, they cut off half the word. It's only the centi part, but they pronounce it as senchi. So 1 meter will be ichi meteru. 2 meters will be ni meteru. Like that. 1 centimeter will be ichi senchi. 2 centimeters will be ni senchi. So on. Okay. And many is a very important word. For example, there are many chairs, there are many cars. If you want to say the word many, the word is taksan. Taksan means many in Japanese. Next slide, what is that? Coming to the calendar. Calendar is a very interesting and very important topic in everyday life. So we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There is the common part day. That day in Japanese is yobi. Yobi is not the word for day. It is only a suffix which we use while telling the days of the week. So you will see the words getsu, ka, sui. These stand for month, tu, wed, Thursday, like that. You add yobi, you get the full word. For example, Getsuyobi will be Monday. Kayobi, Tuesday. Suiyobi, Wednesday. Mokuyobi, Thursday. Kinyobi, Friday. Doyobi, Saturday. And Nichiyobi, Sunday. When you ask someone to tell the days in English, we start with Sunday, right? But they start with Monday. So that's what I have followed here. So you start with Getsuyobi and end with Nichiyobi, which is Sunday. Okay. Now, they also have a shorter way of saying this. For example, if you're having your classes on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, then you can say, I have my classes on Getsu Sui Kin. You can shorten it. You don't have to say Getsuyobi, Suiyobi, Mokiyobi and all that. You can just cut it short to Getsu Sui Kin. Similarly, if you have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can say Ka Moku. Ka Moku is just Tuesday, Thursday. And if you have it on weekends, you can say Do Nichi, which is Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Similarly, the words for today, yesterday, day before yesterday, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Today is Kyo. Yesterday is Kino. Day before yesterday, Ototoi. Tomorrow is Ashita. And day after tomorrow is Asatte. So now you can try saying sentences like today is Monday, yesterday was Sunday and all that. You'll be able to, once you learn a little bit of grammar, you'll be able to express all that. And then the names of the months. Names of the months is again very logical because if you know the numbers 1 to 12 that you've already learned, right? So 1 to 12, take the numbers 1 to 12. There are 12 months and suffix the word gatsu. So how will you say January? January is the first month. 1 is Ichi. Ichi and Gatsu will make Ichigatsu, which is the first month. They don't have a name like January, February. They don't have a name. They only have a representation. First month, second month, third month, which makes it a lot easy for us to learn the names of the months. So you just need the numbers 1 to 12 suffix gatsu, you get the names of the months. Similarly, the dates are also very straightforward. Just like you remember the general counter, right? We learned the numbers, so the counts from 1 to 10. Similarly, the dates, the first to the 10, they have a special set of words. Once you learn that, then it becomes easy from 11 onwards. So 1 to 31 is actually split into two parts, 1 to 10 and 11 to 31. So 1 to 10, if you learn the words, it will be Tsuitachi, Futsuka, Mikka, Yokka, Itsuka, Muika, Nanoka, Yoka, Kokonoka, and Toka. These are the dates from the 1st to the 10th. Once you learn this, 11 to 31, in general, what you do is take the number Juichi, for example, if it's 11, Juichi, and suffix the word Nichi. Nichi you have already seen in Sunday, right? So the same word, Juichi, Nichi. So 11 and Nichi together make it the 11th day of the month. So this goes on, the same pattern goes on till 31st. And what you do is, there are just 3 dates which are exceptions. 14 is not Juyon Nichi, it is Ju Yokka. You use Yokka then. And 20 is not Niju Nichi, it is Hatsuka. There is a separate word, Hatsuka. And 24th is not Niju Yon Nichi, it is again Niju Yokka. Okay? So this, apart from these 3, all the other words will be just numbers plus Nichi for the second part, that is 11th to 31st. So that makes it pretty logical and easy to learn. A very important word, Tanjobi. Tanjobi is birthday. And how do you ask? What is your birthday? When is your birthday? Which date? O Tanjobi wa itsu desu ka? O Tanjobi wa itsu desu ka? When is your birthday? Next slide, please, Walter-san. Yeah. Coming to time, we have G. G stands for the hour. Jikan stands for time. Fun stands for minute. It's not fun. We have the English word fun. It's not fun. It's fun. Fun stands for minute. Ha is half. Mae is before. And Sugi is past. Now, G, if you take the number of hours, we have 1 to 12. The numbers 1 to 12. All you have to do is take the number, suffix G. Ichi G, 1 o'clock. Niji, 2 o'clock. Sanji, 3 o'clock. That way it goes on till 12. Okay, so it becomes easy. Second, if you take Jikan, if you say Ichi Jikan, it means 1 hour. A duration of 1 hour. So Jikan means time, it can also mean hour. So if you suffix Jikan, it denotes the duration. If you suffix G, it denotes the time. Okay. Next comes minute. So how many minutes? For example, you want to say 5 minutes, it is go and fun. Go is 5, fun is minute. So 5 minutes will be go fun. Ha is half. It can also stand for half an hour. For example, if you want to say 1:30, it will be Ichiji ha. Ichiji is 1 o'clock. Ha is half an hour. So Ichiji ha is 1 o'clock and half an hour, which is 1:30. If you want to say 5 minutes before 1, you will say Ichiji, that is 1 o'clock. 5 minutes is go fun, and put the word mae. Ichiji, go fun, mae. That is 5 minutes before 1. If it's 5 minutes past 1, then you will use sugi instead of mae, which is Ichiji, go fun, sugi. 1 o'clock, 5 minutes past. So, Ichiji, go fun, sugi. That's it. Then everything Everything else is straightforward. You express the minutes as they are, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. All this, you combine the number with fun, you get the minutes. Okay. Next slide, please. What is that? Locations. Location words, you have many words like way, which is above, shita, which is below, naka, inside, soto, outside, hidari is left, migi is right. So these are just a few examples, but you have other location words as well. These, if you learn, you will be able to locate things or locate people. For example, where is Walter? For example, Walter is in the room, in the classroom, or Walter is in front of the gate. Like that, we'll be able to locate a person or locate a thing at a particular location. If you want to say A and B, you will use the word to. So A and B are in that location. Okay. Suppose you have other people or other things apart from A and B, then you replace the to by ya, which means A and B are definitely there, and there may be other people or other things as well. It opens up a possibility. And nado is the word for etc. So if you add nado, it confirms that A and B are also there. There are other things or people apart from A and B. So these are all used when you learn a little bit of grammar, but let us not go too much into grammar. We are just doing a survival program. And for example, to give a sentence, to understand what a sentence, location sentence looks like, teburu no, teburu is table, teburu no ue is above or on top of, teburu no ue ni, on top of the table, home, home is a book, home ga arimasu, it is there. So the book is there on top of the table. So on top of the table, there is a book. Gakko is school, mae is in front of. So Gakko no mae ni will mean in front of the school. Hito is a person, hito ga imasu. Imasu, when you talk about living things or people, you use imasu. When you talk about non-living things, you will use arimasu. In the first sentence, it was home, so you used arimasu. In the second sentence, it's a person, hito, so you use imasu. So this much is enough about location. Let's go to the next slide, Walter-san. Yeah. Travel, you have a lot of words, very similar to English. For example, bus is bus. Kuruma is car. You know the kuruma, but our kuruma is something different. Bus is bus. Kuruma is the word for car. Taxi is just the word taxi. It's just the Japanese version. So taxi is taxi. Densha is an electric train. And there are some words which are very helpful. A is to. A is a particle which means to. For example, I am going to Japan. You will say Nihon A. Nihon is Japan. A is to. So Nihon A will mean to Japan. De is a particle which means at. So Nihon De, at Japan. Or Gakko is the word for school. So if you say Gakko De, at school. Kara and Made mean from and till, or from and up to. These two words can be used in a lot of expressions. For example, from January to December, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Just like the way we use from and to in English, we can use kara and made. Then we have gasoline stando. Gasoline is gasoline, petrol. Gasoline stando is a petrol stand or petrol bunk. Yeah. And then kippu. Kippu is an important word relating to travel. It is ticket. Kippu is ticket. Ikimasu is to go. Kimasu is to come. So go to a place, come from a place. Yeah. Next slide. Food also we have a lot of expressions like hoteru, hotel. Restaurant is restaurant. Taberu is to eat. Nomu is to drink. These are all verbs, but very commonly used verbs relating to food. So I thought we could include that. And gohan means a meal, a full meal. It can also mean cooked rice. So it depends on what exactly you want to say. Ramen is a very common word. Top ramen, noodles. So ramen is noodles. And the words kohi, coffee, ocha. Cha, we are very familiar. Chai, we have chai, right? Tea. So ocha is green tea. Kocha is our brown tea. Juice is the same word, juice. Ice cream is ice cream. And if you want to say something is delicious, you will say oishi desu. Oishi desu is it's very delicious. And they use a few expressions before and after a meal. Itadakimasu means it's used before a meal and thank you for the meal. I humbly accept this meal. I humbly receive this meal. So it is itadakimasu before a meal. And after a meal, you say gochiso sama. Gochiso sama is I humbly thank you for the meal. And it could be a meal, it could be a treat or a feast, anything. After the meal, you say gochiso sama. And if you want to say you're hungry, there is an expression onaka ga suite imasu. Onaka ga suite imasu. Onaka is your stomach. Suite imasu is it is empty, which means your stomach is empty, which is hungry. Nodo ga kawaite imasu. Nodo is your throat. Kawaite imasu, it is dry. So my throat is dry or my throat is parched. It means you're thirsty. So these are some very useful expressions which you can use. Yeah? Next slide. Shopping. Shopping, there are some very important words. Okane is money. If you want to ask for the exact price of something, ikura desu ka? If you just want to know approximately how much will it cost, you just say ikura gurai desu ka? Gurai is approximate. So ikura desu ka is the exact price. Ikura gurai desu ka? Approximate price. And you want to express, oh, it's very expensive. So takai desu ne. Takai desu ne is expensive. It's very expensive. Yasui desu ne. If you want to express, oh my god, I thought it is 100 rupees, it costs only 50. I'm surprised. So that is, it is inexpensive. It's not as expensive as I thought. So yasui desu ne. That is an expression. Inexpensive, isn't it? Then the word for bill, kanjo or kanjo is bill. Next slide. Yeah, health, you have certain body parts and I have given you these body parts. So if you want to say, I have a stomach ache, I have a headache, my ear hurts, my tooth hurts, like that, all you have to do is just say the body part first and follow with ga itai. Ga itai, it means it hurts. There is a pain in that body part. So all you have to say, put the body part first, then follow by itai. For example, I have a headache. Atama is the word for head. Atama ga itai means I have a headache. The word for ear is mimi. So mimi ga itai, I have a earache. So just like that, whichever part there is a pain, you just mention the part and just say ga itai. And when you meet a person who is not feeling well, when you take leave of the person, you say get well soon. That is odaiji ni. This is very helpful, especially when you meet a sick person and you are taking leave. You wish him well, get well soon. Odaiji ni. Next. Yeah, weather also we have a lot of words. Tenki is weather. If you want to say the weather is good, you will say tenki ga ii. Ii is the word for good and varui is the word for bad. So tenki ga ii, tenki ga varui. The weather is good, the weather is bad. And the word for weather report is tenki yoho. Yoho is information. So tenki yoho is weather information, that is weather report. And how do you describe the weather? You have a lot of words. Hare is clear weather. Kumo is cloudy weather. And ame is rain. Yuki is snow. Kasa is umbrella. Raincoat is raincoat. Raincoat is just a different way of saying raincoat. That's just the same word. So these are all some very useful words. So I thought I could include them. Next slide, please. Yeah. So if you want to say, I can do something. For example, if you want to say, I can handle Japanese. Nihongo is the word for Japanese. Nihongo ga dekimasu. I can handle Japanese. If you want to ask, can you handle Japanese? For example, I'm not very comfortable with English. Do you speak Japanese? Nihongo ga dekimasu ka? If you add the ka at the end, it becomes a question. So, Nihongo ga dekimasu ka? Would you please talk in Japanese? Do you know Japanese? So that will make me feel more comfortable. You know the word for English, eigo. So you're not comfortable with Japanese. So you want to ask, eigo ga dekimasu ka? Do you know English? Would you please speak in English so that I can understand better? Yeah. Next one is ski this. Ski this is something you like. For example, you like ice cream. You want to say, I like ice cream. Ice cream ga ski desu. I like ice cream. If you want to ask, do you like ice cream? All you have to do is put the ka at the end. Ice cream ga suki desu ka? Do you like ice cream? Next is a very useful expression. You want to appreciate someone. Oh, your Japanese is very good. Or somebody appreciates you after this session if you learn some Japanese expressions and you start using them. Somebody will appreciate you saying, Nihongo ga jouzu desu ne. Your Japanese is very good. You are skilled at Japanese. You might just have said thank you or good morning in Japanese. It's a very simple expression, but still you will get the compliment. Nihongo ga jouzu desu ne. Yeah, this is very common. And then very useful words, yes and no. Hi is yes, iie is no. And if you want to say very good or very busy and all that, word is totemo. If you want to say, I am busy, isogashi desu. I am busy. I am very busy, totemo isogashi desu. Just prefix it by totemo. That's it. Totemo isogashi desu is very busy. Omoshiroi desu. You find a book very interesting. You find a movie interesting. You can say omoshiroi desu. Very interesting. The movie is interesting. Totemo omoshiroi desu. Very interesting. You just put totemo before the expression to make it sound very interesting. So, totemo omoshiroi desu. Next one, Savitha. Yes. Now you can see some signboards in Japan, but mostly you have the English version, so you won't have much trouble understanding them. Toire is written in Japanese, but below that you have the word English toilet. And this one, of course, you don't even need to see the Japanese. You know what it means. Otearai is a washroom. Yeah. Next one. Yeah, this is taxi. Taxi is written in Japanese, and below that noriba. Noriba is a place where you board a taxi. So taxi boarding place. That is for taxi. But the word taxi and the picture is also there. So you have no difficulty. Almost everywhere you see the word in English. So you don't have a problem. And no parking also. Chusha kinshi. That is there. But at the same time, you have no parking. And P with a cross, you know, the symbol is familiar to you. So you don't have a difficulty. Next slide, please. Yes. Again, no smoking is, there is the symbol. There is the Japanese expression. But below that, you have the expression no smoking. So you understand. Similarly, tomare is to stop. But again, you have the symbol. You also have the English word. So there should be no problem understanding this. So I think we have come to the end of the session. And of course, it's an experience of learning a language is something different. You can't compress a whole language into just 1 hour. It's not possible. But I thought we should include something which is very useful, which you listen to almost every day. So that was the idea behind this program. And I'm sure it would have been interesting and useful for you. And I would Really welcome all your questions. I'm eagerly waiting to answer your questions. And I'm sure I'll come across a number of interesting questions as well. Thank you so much, Walter-san. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Rama.
thank you. Or should I say, arigato gozaimasu?
Gozaimashita. Yes. Because we have finished the session, it will be in the past tense. Arigato
Yes.
gozaimashita. Yes.
Shall we move on to the question and answer session, ma'am?
Yes.
We have a few interesting questions. Actually, there were two questions in the chat stream earlier, which was regarding the similar thing which we spoke about yesterday. So right off the bat, I will tell you that because those were the questions which were asked earlier. When we say gozaimasu and or imasu, desu, ice cream, like you have the ending u. We were talking about that, and so why does that happen in Japanese? Like, and can you just repeat what you told me? There were two questions regarding that.
Yeah. For example, we say this. So you have a final S, right? So in Indian languages, it's possible to write with the final S sound. Even in English, if you write DES, you can read it as this. So in the written form, you can express the hissing sound. But in Japanese, the sound is there, but there is no corresponding letter for that. So what they have to do with the limiting sounds they have, you have to use the closest sound available. So since this is not there, the closest one available is su. So the written form will have desu. But even take masu, arimasu or imasu, you write it as arimasu, imasu. But when you say, you can say arimas, imas. Because of the limitation in the written part, you have to choose the closest sound. It's not exact, but it comes very close to it. Yeah. A question from Dr. S.P. Nandanwar. Japanese script, whether it's difficult to learn and remember, how much time does it take? Okay. The word difficult itself, we should avoid it, because when you are learning a language, each language is unique in its own way, right? We have a lot of letters in Tamil, we have a lot of letters in not lot of letters in English, because the tendency is to compare with English, because English has just 26 letters. And oh my God, how many letters does Japanese have? You have 3 different sets of scripts. You have hiragana, you have katakana, you have kanji. When am I going to learn all this? Yes, there is a challenge. That way, Japanese is unique. It has 3 different scripts. But the way you see it, the way you look at it, if you look at it in terms of numbers, it will be really too difficult. It may sound too difficult. But what I would say is, for example, you have 1,000 friends. You have 100 friends. Will you say, oh my God, I have 100 friends. What do I do with them? You will never say that, because friends are important to you. You value your friendship. The person is important to you. And when you have a friend, every day you make new friends, right? And the friendship list keeps adding every day. But do you ever complain? No. And another thing I want to tell you about the script is, for example, you have a friend. You know his name. You know how he spells his name. You know his phone number. You know his landline mobile. You know his mail ID. And so many, you know his birthday. You know so much of information about him or her. But you are not sitting at one place and committing all this to memory. You are not memorizing anything. How do you even retain all this information? And if you have 100 friends, all these 100 friends, each one of them will have so much of information. And how do you remember all this? Do you sit in one place and memorize everything? No. You learn it on your own, because you are interested in the person, you like to know more about the person, and in the course of interacting with the person, you get more and more information, And out of your interest or relationship, good relationship with the person, it just gets into your system. That's it. So don't just think in terms of numbers. There are a lot of characters, there are a lot of alphabets to learn, but we will learn. If you attach good importance to it, if you really enjoy learning it, nothing is going to be a problem. And yeah, there is another question from Mr. Radhakrishnan. How much time is required for a native speaker to master Japanese? Mastering definitely takes time, but learning is definitely at any point you can start learning. It doesn't matter which language is your native language. You may be speaking English or Tamil or any Indian language, doesn't matter. It's only a question of interest. And wherever you compare with your native language, there are many things which are very interesting because, for example, in Tamil, we have many proverbs and Japanese also has a lot of proverbs. So when you compare the proverbs, you get to understand that, okay, oh yeah, this Japanese proverb means the same in Tamil. The expression may be different, but the message given by the proverb is the same. So it is definitely taking a little bit of time to learn the language, but definitely it's a very interesting challenge, and learning a language definitely sets your brain working, and it's going to be very, very interesting if you are able to at least communicate with a person who speaks Japanese. With a Japanese, if for example you go to a mall or a supermarket, you see a Japanese. Now in this session we have taught you how to introduce yourself. So you just take the opportunity, go to the person, just try to introduce yourself, and you can just watch that expression on their face. It's an expression of surprise, it's delight, it's appreciation, and definitely they'll say, "Josu desu ne." You can be ready for that. And coming to the question from Ms. Devyani Agarwal, striking similarities between Indian and Japanese culture or language. Yes, there are many similarities in the idiomatic expressions, in your proverbs. And for example, take Tamil language, you have this expression, poitu vare. Poitu vare is, I'll go and come back. In Japanese also, we have a similar expression, ittekimasu, I'll go and come back. It's exactly the same. So I don't have a difficulty in teaching a person who knows Tamil. In Tamil, you say poitu varen, right? Replace that expression, ittekimasu. That's it. It's exactly the same. But imagine a person who knows only English. In English, we have goodbye, bye-bye. There is no going and coming back. I have faced this question in my class. If I'm going and coming back, then why do I have to go? I can sit here now. What is this going and coming back? What kind of expression is that? That question happens because in English, this expression does not exist. So going and coming back, if you literally translate in English, it will sound very funny. There is the similarity in culture that is required. This culture gives you the similarity in expression, and that is when you understand and appreciate the similarity and learn the expression.
Uma-san, there are some questions regarding your classes that participants would like to take from you. We will get back to them later once I share your details. Yes. We will go on to some other questions, important questions, like, for example, job opportunities.
Yeah, this is from Ms. Estevani. Job opportunities we have if we learn Japanese. See, there are many job opportunities. For example, if you learn Japanese for about 4 or 6 months, you would have acquired a good proficiency, which is enough for everyday conversations. And you can take up simple opportunities like going as a tourist guide, something like that. It doesn't have to be a proper team of tourists. You can just take your friends along, any Japanese you know, and you can communicate with them, explain about the place and all that. So just try that with your known circles first, because they will not, even if they don't understand, they will feel free to ask you again. And even if you are not able to explain, they'll try to understand what you are saying. Okay, so that kind of a comfort level will be there when you go with a known group. And once you acquire a level of proficiency and a little bit of confidence after interacting with your known groups, then definitely you can try something like, for example, teaching. See, for teaching, you don't really have to be a master or anything. At any point, teaching, I would say, to develop your confidence in teaching, you first, as a learner of Japanese, start teaching. Whenever you reach a certain level of proficiency, start teaching that to another person. Because that person will be a total beginner. But at least you have a reasonably good level of proficiency. You are good enough to teach. And one more thing I would like to say here is, for example, you have scored very good in your Japanese exam, but that does not mean you are a good teacher. Your score may be very average, but you may have a passion for teaching. So it all depends whether you cultivate the passion for teaching or you naturally have it. But teaching is a good way of learning, because when you teach someone, it's a responsibility. When you teach someone, it becomes a responsibility, and when the person asks you a question, you should be ready to answer. And that happens only when you're a teacher. When you're a learner, you take it easy. No, okay, I can skip a class today and learn it tomorrow. Okay, even if I don't go to class for 2-3 days, it's okay. I always have the video. I always have my books. I can always. But no, a classroom experience is completely different. A whole hour of learning cannot be equivalent to just browsing through the book and learning something. It's not that. Even copying notes from a person who was in class doesn't help. Classroom session is something different. You have a lot of interaction with the teacher, with your classmates. It definitely helps. Yeah. There is another question from Ms. Paulomi. With an English language background, do I have a chance to get a job in Japan? Yes, you can teach English in Japan. You can teach English in Japan, but for that you need to have this certification, TOEFL certification, or there is something called TOEIC certification, because in Japan for English proficiency they use the TOEIC exam, not the TOEFL. So TOEIC has got a more priority there, right? So definitely with an English background you can get a chance, but the thing is, when you are teaching English to Japanese, you also need a reasonable level of Japanese proficiency, because you need to explain what it means. They do learn English up to their junior level, junior high school level, and you don't really, please don't assume they don't know English at all. They do know English, but the English they know is only up to the junior high school level. So once you start teaching them, you can teach them the nuances, you can correct their pronunciation, you can fine tune that, because because I told you, even in the program we had some English words which were pronounced in a Japanese way. So you can correct that. For example, the English word and, A-N-D, and, many Japanese pronounce it as ando. It's not ando, it is and. But you may find a Japanese student who pronounces it as ando. So correct the person, fine tune it. It is not ando, leave the O, it is and. And it takes a little bit of time to bring them to that level, but it is worth the effort. Definitely a person with English background has some opportunity. Yeah, alphabets in Japanese languages. I told you.
There is another question also which may be related to this. That one was how many alphabets are there, and one is Miss Bhanumati ma'am has asked how many characters are there in the Japanese language. Are they related? And
yes, actually there are 3 sets of scripts. 2 of them are alphabets and 1 is a character set. So the alphabet set, you have for almost 50 alphabets in hiragana and katakana. So why do we have 50 alphabets in hiragana, the same 50 alphabets in katakana? Why do we need 2 sets of alphabets? There might be a question which they have not asked, but I would like to tell. Because hiragana is the set of alphabets used for Japanese words, and katakana is the set of alphabets for loan words from other languages, whichever they have borrowed from other languages. For example, computer, typewriter, ice creamer, which we did in our program, ice creamer, takshi. These kind of words have been borrowed from English. Of course, they have their own way of pronouncing it, but whenever you write these words in a Japanese text or sentence, you will write it in katakana, not hiragana. Hiragana is only for Japanese words. Katakana is for the foreign words. So you need one alphabet, one set of alphabets for foreign words, one set of alphabets for Japanese words. And the third one is called kanji. Kanji is a character set. This is very similar. For example, it's not a word. It's very more similar to a picture. For example, instead of giving you the word APPLE, if I show you the picture of an apple, it gives you more information about what it is, what is the shape, what is the taste, what is the color, and what is inside that. Does it have seeds? All these ideas about an apple come to your mind the moment I show you a picture. If I show you just the word APPLE, your focus will be only on the letters and you just read it out as apple. Nothing else comes to your mind. But the picture brings more information, more ideas to your mind, right? So the characters are just like that. Character, a single character can represent a whole word. But not all words are single characters. There are combinations as well. But it is the nature of the kanji characters that even a single character can represent a whole word. It's like showing a picture. Yes. And the number of characters, coming to the number of characters, we have almost 2000 characters. Official list of approved kanji for everyday use. Okay?
Once we have...
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah. So once you learn this almost 2000 characters, it takes a long time. Of course, once you learn this, you will be able to read Japanese newspapers and magazines.
We have time for one last question. In fact, this is in two parts, asked by several participants, in fact.
Okay.
So what are there graded levels to learn Japanese, and what are the exams which they can take up to be certified in Japanese? Once you finish that, you can also end the Q&A session by discussing about something about what you take, the classes you take, because a lot of participants are asking about that as well.
Oh yes. So coming to the Japanese learning part, the thing is we have 5 levels. This is for non-Japanese people. Okay? There are 5 levels in Japanese. This starts from level 5. Level 5 is the beginner's level. Then it goes up to level 1. So level 1 is the advanced level. So level 5, you have something called a fast track, because level 5 and the exams are conducted twice a year, and this is conducted by the Japan Foundation. Japan Foundation exam is called the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, JLPT. This has a lot of centers all over India, and you can take the exam anywhere in India, wherever you like. They issue the forms, you can fill it up with your details relating to the center, your choice of center. And this happens twice a year in July and December on the first Sunday. Regardless of the date, it happens on the first Sunday of July and December. This is the JLPT exam. But there is one more exam which has come up recently. It's called the NAT exam. This NAT exam has a greater frequency. It happens once in 2 months. So it happens 6 times a year. The frequency is high. The fee structure is also different. So the Japanese exam, the JLPT exam fee is different. The NAT exam is slightly expensive, but the frequency is more. So even if you want to evaluate yourself before the JLPT exam, you can take the NAT exam. There are many people who do that just to get an idea, okay, how good am I and how prepared am I for the JLPT exam. And when it comes to job opportunities also, JLPT exam has been there for a very long time. So all the companies, and it's a global certification. So all companies accept a JLPT certificate as a standard certification. But recently, some companies have also started accepting the NAT certification. And when it comes to the number of hours or now, like the time taken for N5, you can learn the portions in about 6 months. It's very easy to learn the N5 portions in 6 months. So you can take, for example, you're starting in January, you can take the July exam. But if you're starting in between, for example, you're starting somewhere in March, then July will have very little time for you. So what you can do is you can take N5 and 4 together, take the fast track, and then take the exam N4 level in December. Instead of doing N5, you skip N5, go to N4 directly in December. That is also possible. You don't really need to clear this N5 in order to take the next level. You can straight away, if you are ready for it, if you are prepared, then definitely you can take it straight away. You don't have to do level by level. If you are ready for level 1, even that is possible. And one more thing about the exam is that you don't have to write anything in the exam. You only have to read the question paper. It's a multiple choice. So level 5 to level 1, it's all multiple choice questions. You just need to read the question, understand properly, read the answers, choose the best answer. That's it. And there is a listening session as well. So you listen to the question and mark the right answer. Here also it is just a multiple choice question.
Thank you, Masan. With that, we come to the end of the Q&A session.
Yeah. And one more thing, just one point.
Yes.
I take classes. If the student wants to come in person and learn, I take a one-to-one session. That is also possible. And now being in a lockdown period, definitely online sessions are going. Online is also fine. And most of my students are one-to-one. Yes, because even if it's a small group of 5 people, I would say there are 5 different people with 5 different backgrounds, and one may know English, one may know Tamil, one may speak Telugu. It is, even if it's a small group, there is a big challenge in taking it to them, because their level of understanding may be different, their level of grasping may be different. So even a small group, I don't believe in having a large group sitting in front of me and delivering a lecture, okay, class is over. I don't believe in that. I believe each of my students has to learn it properly. So I really would like to give my full attention, individual attention to each of my students. And interestingly, there are students who come together to learn. For example, mother and son, or 2 friends who come together. That is an interesting thing, because they will always be together, so they can learn, combine and learn. So that's a very interesting exception, but mostly it is one-to-one. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Savitha ma'am, will Rama ma'am be joining us, or shall we move on to the formal vote of thanks?
I think that we shall move on to the no idea about.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I kindly request you to deliver the formal vote of thanks, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Walter. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, I heartily convey my gratitude to our versatile guest speaker, Mrs. Uma Balu, an eminent and renowned Japanese language expert, for readily accepting our invite. Her talk on Let's Speak Japanese is very informative. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing us today. My sincere gratitude to our management and heads of institutions for continuous encouragement in organizing events. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our HOD, Dr. Rema, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength. In organizing any program and making it a success, there will be someone who prefers to take the major burden on shoulders ungrudgingly. I am indebted to Dr. Walter, Joint Coordinator, for his untiring help and support for the progressive development of this FDP. I am short of words for his involvement and his willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond his comfort zones. Special mention to my colleague Mrs. Preetha, for helping us with technical support. I thank her most heartily. I thank all my department colleagues for their moral support, and I owe special gratitude to all the participants from various institutions across the world for joining us every day in the learning process. Once again, I thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. With that, we come to the end of the session.
Thank you, Uma ma'am.
Thank you so much. Walter-san, thank you so
Yes,
much for the
thank
lovely
you, thank you.
opportunity. Every moment.
As you rightly corrected me, arigato gozaimashita. And it was, Japanese. Let's learn Japanese in the right measure. I think, we could add that also. I don't know what is the exact expression for that. So anyway, thank you so much, and we will. I will, with your permission, I would like to share your contact details with the participants, because many of them have asked us about classes they would like to take classes with you. So, with your permission, I will share your details, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we come to the end of the session. You can leave the studio, ma'am. At the bottom of your screen, you can see the option.
Yes, and thank you all participants, because it was delightful, and the interaction was also very interesting. Many interesting questions, and I'm sure I was able to answer all the questions to your satisfaction. Thank you so much. Nihongode Hanashimasho.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Savitha,
Walter.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
We can leave, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.